this wasn't human error that caused her to go to cardiac arrest the first time. Something's happening. Yeah, I think a lot changed right then. Having a medical background, I knew that it's a lot different. If they go into cardiac arrest again, it's a little different.
Hey everybody, it's me, Shay. Welcome back to Grief Witnessed, where we remember, where we tell the stories, and where grief is allowed to exist without fixing it. Today I am joined by my friend Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hello, Shay.
We're going to hear his story today. He lost his wife, Hailey. How long ago was it now?
It'll be 14 months on the 29th.
Okay, so a little over a year.
Mm-hmm.
Matt is blessed to have his son, Crew, who is 14 months now. But Hailey was a well-known content creator for nurses. She created a account called RN New Grads, where she helped new registered nurses find jobs. And then it kind of just formed into like a educational account, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So she's very well known in the nursing community and very, very loved in the nursing community. And well, I think the world just loves her. Tell me about your guys' love story, because that's my favorite always.
Yeah. That's like most of her community knows her as Nurse Hailey. Mm-hmm. So they know the nursing thing, the nursing side of her, and they don't know a whole lot of the personal side. They know her dog and they know a little bit of me, mm-hmm. but since her passing, they've learned a lot more about her. When we met, we were pretty young. I think it was really, really a blessing that we met so young. She was in college, going to school at Oregon State, doing gymnastics, and I was home in California going to school, and she was home for spring break, and we met at a local restaurant, and her friend was dating my brother at the time. Not anymore.
Yeah.
So we met, and I knew she was coming, and I just had seen her online, thought she was cute, but never talked to her or anything. And I fell head over heels, like they say. And I started talking to her, and that night didn't really play out like I wanted it, because I think I'd mentioned it to you. I had to work in the morning, and I was working on an ambulance doing 24-hour shifts.
Were you an EMT?
I was an EMT at the time, and as much as I wanted to stay all night, like I knew I had to wake up super early and work all day. So I met her, introduced myself, and then I left. And then I messaged her on Facebook, I think at the time, and just said it was, nice to meet you. Hopefully we can hang out again before you leave. And we ended up meeting up. We hung out, and honestly, it was just like, it seemed to click so easily to the point that she went back to college, and a few weeks later.
You were in California?
I was in California at the time.
And she was in Oregon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I ended up flying out to Oregon, I think a month or two later, and meeting up with her. And we just I think we started dating like then. Like I don't think I ever asked her out or to be my girlfriend or anything at the time, which, when you're 22, 23 years old, I think that has to usually be an official thing.
Yeah.
Will you be my girlfriend?
Yeah. I
don't think I ever did that. We just both enjoyed each other's company so much, and it was a good time in our lives where, well, she was out of state, which wasn't good, but she was finishing up. It was her last semester.
What was she going to school for at the time?
She was doing digital marketing.
Okay.
And no plans of doing this whole social media thing. She thought she was going to work like for the Pac-10 network or something, doing something with gymnastics or sports, and then totally pivoted into doing what she's doing now, or she did. But she came home a few months later, and then we just hung out like every day, between our jobs and work and life. And she was living right down the street from us, from my family where I lived at. Yeah, we started our lives together. We started our careers, and it was pretty special, where I was trying to be a firefighter. She was trying to be a nurse. And when it was well before we got there. So we did all the little steps along the way, and the schooling, the interviews, the practices. And it was cool to see, each of us get those next milestones together and support each other through each one of them.
By the way, did you get that job? You told me you were like applying for like a position.
Yeah, it's kind of a typical city of LA thing. Everything happens really slow.
Okay.
So it is still in the process, but I did get some really good results back the other day that it's looking very promising that I'll be doing that.
Okay. It's a firefighter position?
So it's still within my same organization that I work for, but it's going to allow me the ability to work more of a normal person schedule. Whereas right now I do 24-hour shifts. That's the minimum time that I go to work.
Yeah.
Which is not ideal as a single parent. But this one's going to allow me to come home every day.
Oh, so I love that.
Yeah. A huge blessing that our department has that opportunity available.
Yeah. I hope you get it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Same here. It's looking very promising.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
So when did she pivot from digital marketing to nursing? Was that her plan No, it wasn't her plan.
No. Honestly, I think she did digital marketing thinking she was going to do something along the lines with like a college, but she did not have any idea that she was going to do this. She wanted to be an entrepreneur, but it really didn't matter at the time what it was going to be. She got into the private sector. I couldn't even tell you what the job was when she came home, and she hated it. But her mom's a nurse. Her mom has been a nurse for probably over 30 years. And obviously the nurse firefighter combo is very common because the schedules work out very good.
Okay.
So I think a lot of my friends that she met, wives were nurses, and her mom being a nurse, obviously it may have gave her the interest in it. And then it wasn't short after she got home where she started deciding to do nursing, like started doing all the prereqs. Right after nursing school, I just posted a video the other day that yesterday was actually 7 years from the day that she graduated nursing school. And it was that day that she said, I want to start a business for nursing. It was a really small idea, I think, at the time. I don't know if she really thought it was going to grow into what it did. It was just posting jobs that were open because she had a tough time finding jobs that were open. She would spend a lot of time going through, dead end links of jobs that were closed or she wasn't qualified for. So when she finally got a job, she wanted to remove a lot of that wasted time to other nurses that were trying to get jobs. So she did that. And then she started doing educational resources or educational videos, and she saw the interest in it and kind of just kept going into something that allowed her to work in the hospital a little bit less and start focusing on the business more, which was really, her passion was to help people and be in the hospital, but she really loved the entrepreneurial side of running the business.
So what are you doing with her account now?
Anything that I can. Okay. It's crazy. And as you would know, it takes so much time. It
does take a lot of time.
If you were never in that role, you wouldn't understand how long it takes. It
does take so much time.
Yeah. So I'm trying to juggle a lot. I work as a firefighter full time, and I have my full-time dad.
Yeah.
I do have a lot of supportive family that lives close, which is amazing. And I would not be able to juggle all these things without that. But then I also am running the RN New Grads business by myself. There's resources that are unreleased that I feel like so compelled to release because Hailey spent so much time creating them. And then there's just so many little pieces, the website, marketing, emails, responding to people, partnerships.
Yeah.
I'm trying to juggle it, but it is a lot. And none of them, they all need a lot of attention. None of those three things are all really important. My career, my son, and then this thing that I kind of got tossed onto me, which I'm passionate about because it was a huge passion of Hailey's.
Part of Hailey's legacy. I mean, most important is crew.
Right.
And, her legacy with crew.
Right.
And I guess secondary to that could be this thing she created.
Right.
But yeah, that is a lot on you.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not enough time in any day.
Yeah.
But it's good. I also have found that it's okay to stop and take time and step away from it. Because crew is always going to be that number one priority, and that's never going to change. And the business is there, and it is very, very sentimental to me. But I know as much as Hailey loved it, like she would not want me to let that steal time away from crew. So it's really easy for me to justify that at times when I have to, put it aside and focus on him.
So about crew and your journey to crew.
Yeah.
Tell us about, so there was infertility for a while, yes?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that process? Because there's grief with infertility as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. And for our scenario, we both battled a little bit of infertility issues. And so I think there was a little bit of grief on both ends and disappointment. And if it's one-sided, I think that person may feel a little bit of guilt knowing their struggles. For us, like it was a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So it was kind of shared guilt maybe, but what almost like canceled it out. We didn't have guilt with each other. It was like a very supportive process. Just sadness because it was a long process, very unexpected. Like neither of us had infertility issues that we knew were going to be coming about. When we were getting married and talking about having a family, life, we thought we were able to time it out. Like we even scheduled our honeymoon and we thought the exact date of when we could do it. Like, which obviously is very, very not accurate from seeing how it all plays out. We're trying to have a kid for a year or so. And then we thought it was weird that it didn't, we know, the odds aren't, first time try, that's it. But after a year, we thought it was kind of strange that we were unsuccessful still. We started going through the infertility testing process. A few tests would come back and they weren't good. We were really surprised because we're both young, in our low 30s, healthy, active people, and never expected us to have infertility issues. It's really, really sad when you see so many people in the world that have kids. There's kids everywhere. And I still see it all the time and think about it. I'm one of 5 kids in my family. And so, we talked about, we had the argument, are we going to have 3 or 4 or 5 kids? Never even a talk about if there's going to be struggles of having kids. And I mean, it makes crew just feel like such more of a blessing to me now because you see how special and how many things need to work in order for a child to be born and brought here. Yeah. Finally, we ended up having to go to the IVF process because it wasn't going to happen any other way. And we wanted to see that through. We wanted to have our own child. We did talk about fostering, and that could have been, something we would have been happy to do, but we wanted to just see if the IVF was something that we could see through and have a child, our own child. So we did it, and long, as you know, expensive process that, much harder on her than me, but it was exciting when we finally got the word that she was pregnant. A lot of steps that took place before that, but the first transfer worked.
Did you guys choose a boy embryo?
Yeah. So I don't think anyone outside of my family knows this, that, you extract eggs, a ton of eggs, and then it, fizzles down to, you pair them and then those fizzle down too. And at the end of the day, we had 2 left.
Wow.
Yeah. So we had a boy, Crew, and a girl, Oakley.
Oh, do you still have that Oakley embryo?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. So that's a tough one too, right?
Yeah, I have mine and Tanner's embryos as well.
You do?
Pay for them every month.
We just paid again. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a tough one because I let her decide, praying she would choose a boy at first. But she wanted a boy first. And, we thought it'd be great to have a boy to look over our little girl. And so now when I pay that one more year for that girl, I just think if we would have picked her, like that's Crew who I'm deciding, do I want to discard that or do I want to keep him? And, the first probably 8 months, I thought there's no way I can bring her into this world. Now, I just think like, I mean, there's no way I cannot continue to pay that.
Yeah.
But I also have had some thought of what it would look like to bring her into the world, or at least
Little
try.
Hailey.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even imagine. A lot of things have to line up in order for that to be possible, even though so many of my family members are like, just do it. Come on, we'll help you. We'll do whatever.
Yeah.
And I would love to. And maybe I will one day. Right now, it's not going to happen yet, but
That's okay.
yeah.
You embryos, they last a freaking long time.
You're
So
right.
maybe when you're 80.
Yeah,
Actually,
I know.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I love that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Crew and Oakley.
Mm-hmm.
What a pair.
Yeah. Isn't it weird? Like you have yours too. So
Yeah, Mamie Lou.
I don't know if you've given it much thought about ever transferring them, but it is kind of weird to think that they're not the same age, obviously, but
Yeah.
they're kind of the same age.
I know. I know.
Right?
It's weird. Yeah. I mean, they were all like made the same day, but
Right.
it's crazy. They're like frozen in time.
Right.
It's crazy that amazing.
It is amazing.
Science can do that.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. You guys got Crew on the first transfer.
Yeah.
So what did Hailey's pregnancy look like?
I think it was good. I mean, she did not have many. When I think of a poor pregnancy, I think of like her friends would say like they were nauseous.
Yeah.
And she didn't really have that. Like she was really, really, and I'm happy to share it like with Crew later. Like she was so happy during pregnancy. She really enjoyed her pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just a handful of times that she felt nauseous, but not many. She was just tired, which I think is normal. Couldn't do the caffeine. She was really strict on not doing any caffeine. So she was just tired
Is
here
she a
and there.
coffee drinker?
She doesn't drink coffee.
Oh,
Which is
really?
crazy.
Oh, wow.
She would do caffeine tablets.
Oh, what?
Yeah, which is so weird, but I don't know. It's cheaper than coffee, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
that's funny.
so no coffee or no caffeine. So she was tired here and there. She was still working on our new grads a lot. She
Mhm.
stopped working in the hospital when she was like 4-5 months pregnant.
Was she an ER nurse?
She was an ER nurse.
ER nurse.
Yeah. So yeah, not a great spot to be when you're pregnant, really.
Yeah.
You're around a bunch of sick people on your feet for 12 hours at least. So thankfully she had the ability to work still from home until even going into the hospital. Like she was really, really happy with her pregnancy, where I think she was looking forward to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fear I had. If it was a horrible pregnancy, which I've heard of some of our friends had terrible pregnancies, my thought was like, okay, well, are we even going to be able to use this other embryo? Like,
Yeah.
she's not going to want to do it.
Yeah.
But totally opposite. She really, really enjoyed it. So yeah, I think it was a good process overall for her pregnancy. Yeah,
So when she went into the hospital, was that planned?
it was.
Okay.
It was. She was 41 weeks pregnant and wasn't dilating at all. So it was a scheduled induction.
Okay.
And she wanted to try to do the natural birth, natural being a vaginal delivery, not like no meds, natural.
Okay. Okay.
I pitched that thing to her for like, are you going to do that? You know, a lot of people are doing that now, and she's like, no,
Nah.
no. She's like, oh, I'm going to hold off a little bit as long as I could. But yeah, it was a scheduled induction, 41 weeks, and it ended up being a C-section after 2.5 days because she just wasn't dilating much.
Okay. So it wasn't an emergency C-section.
It wasn't
was
an
just like,
emergency. Yeah,
you're not
a lot of people
dilating.
I think have came up with that theory on their own that it was an emergency C-section to deliver Crew, and that wasn't the case.
Okay. She just wasn't dilating.
She
so
just
they're
was dilating. Finally, by the second day, going into the third day, she started dilating, but not quite enough. And Crew's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He's a big.
He's
big
freaking
boy.
huge. So he was 9 pounds, 1 ounce.
Wow.
And Hailey's a pretty small girl. And the doctors were like, hey, he's big. We could feel his head. He's got a fat head. So he's like 99 percentile on his head. And they're like, hey, we recommend a C-section. you could keep pushing, but we suspect that even if you keep pushing, we're gonna be back to wanting to do a C-section. So they were not pushy about it. They just educated on what they thought. They gave us our time and space to speak about it, and we collectively decided we think it's probably the right choice. She was obviously pissed because she had mentioned it a few times when we got there, like, I should just do a C-section. Like, I'm going to do all this, and then I know I'm going to end up doing a C-section after 3 days of pushing and this pain. And like, that is a whole nother perspective and appreciation I have for the labor process. Like, that's a lot. That's a lot that women put on their bodies. And I didn't mention it to her, but I'm like, you were right. Like, we could have just done a C-section, which we didn't know at the time, obviously. Yeah. But we ended up deciding to do a C-section. So, they took the time. They had the surgery room all prepped, and it was scheduled. Nothing rushing about it.
All right. Do you feel open to sharing what that day was like for you?
Yeah. Very, very. I mean, bittersweet as so much of my life now. And that is probably the most bittersweet day I'll ever have. Because at the time, there was really nothing special other than a brief moment when Crew was born. But after that, it was just sadness for months. In hindsight now, it was a really bittersweet day bringing Crew into the world and losing Hailey. We start the C-section process, and I'm sitting next to her, and everything is going smooth. And just the energy in the room, that everything's going as planned. The way the doctors are talking and the nurses, and I'm speaking to Hailey, and everything's good. Like, just as you would expect for a delivery. And Cruz gets born, and I mean, you hear him crying. And it's still crazy to me because I kind of, after so many negative tests, it's really hard to get your hopes up that you're going to have a kid. And I kind of shut myself out to getting the excitement of having a kid. It was a lot of bad news over and over again. Yeah. And the odds of what we were getting for these news is having to do IVF, both having fertility issues, having a matching recessive gene. So having to do more testing, it was like the odds were like 1 in a billion. It was insane. So when I heard him crying, I think that was where like the light went off. Like, wow, like we have a kid. Yeah, this is crazy. And then they raised him up. Hailey saw him.
Oh.
And then stepped aside. Clamped the cord, cut it. It's still surreal. Like, still really hard for me to process that. Like, I'm a dad. And we did it. Like, this finally happened. And I look at Hailey, and I just tell him, like, he's beautiful. Like, you did such a good job.
You have to say what Hailey said.
Yeah. I mean, people that know Hailey, like, she is very, very. I mean, she got a potty mouth. There's a few things that, like, I don't want to.
We love her.
Yeah, we love her. We love her. That's people they loved her. Like, she would speak her mind. Yeah. And like, even a full room, an operating room, like, she would speak her mind, and she let everyone know that he was huge in a very
Hailey manner.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect way to put it. And like, the whole room was laughing. Because probably many moms that just deliver their baby don't say that for their first words to him. But everything was exciting. It was really exciting. It kind of shifted a little bit because, I give her a kiss and I tell her how proud I am. And then she said, I don't feel good. I feel like I'm gonna vomit. And, nothing really alarmed me at the time because they were really, immediately they said, like, it's okay. Like, everything here is in place. Like, if you have to vomit, just, it's okay. We have everything set up for you.
Super abnormal. Like, I had a C-section and I felt nauseous.
You did. Yeah, right. And she had an epidural, and, she's getting anesthesia. She's getting all these meds to, cut her open. So that's totally normal, right? I've been a paramedic for 13 years. I'm not concerned about it. Even, I'll go to the next step is, they say, okay, we're going to stitch her up. She's going to be in the room in a minute. And Matt, you and crew and the nurse go ahead and, wait in the room for mom. All right. Give her a kiss. And we walk down the hall, and it's like 2 doors down. We're like maybe 30 feet away within eyesight of where the other room is. And we go into the room, and I'm standing next to crew, and the nurse is with us, and I have a moment looking at him, and then I just think like, this is so surreal. Like it's still really, really hard for me to imagine this is my boy. And like Hailey, like we finally did this. And then I thought like, I need to wait for Hailey to be here to really appreciate this together and soak this all in. Cause it didn't really hit me yet. Like, so I turned around and I sit at the chair, have my back towards crew. He's with the nurse, right? I hear him crying, so I know he's fine. And then the door opens a few minutes later. And I'm kind of thinking like, that's kind of quick, but Hailey's coming in, and it wasn't Hailey, it was a doctor. And the doctor says, hey, Matt, Hailey's oxygen level got low. We're going to do everything we can. We're doing everything we can to bring it up. And I just think, okay, like not even concerned still, because I know being a first responder, bringing people to the hospital all the time, she's in the hospital. Like she's in a safe setting. She's on all these meds. So yeah, it's probably pretty normal. Her oxygen levels go a little bit low, but that can mean a very, very range if her oxygen levels are low. And he was very calm and composed of the way he spoke it, that, I wasn't alarmed at all. I just thought, this sucks because I'm gonna have to wait even longer to have that moment.
Yeah.
And he stepped out, and a few minutes later he comes back in, and he tells me that Hailey's heart stopped and they're doing everything they can to revive her. And I just am like, I'm shocked. And he said it really calm and composed still. And I just ran outside, and as soon as I opened the door, I can see her. They had just pulled her out of the room. She's on the bed, and they have a full team working her up. She went into cardiac arrest, and she's intubated. They have a team giving meds, a whole team doing a full workup on her. And I'm like in shock, because I don't think there's any way to not be in shock when you are expecting your wife to come in and you have a moment of something you didn't think was ever going to happen, and it finally came to life. And to seeing that a minute later, and it was a lot. It was heavy. It was a lot, because I hate not knowing what's going on, especially in this medical setting. Like I'm typically on the other side of it, where I'm running the code, or I'm making the calls of what's happening, or at least helping with it. And I know what causes this, or where we're at in the process of reviving. They're asking me, okay, we're bringing her to the ICU upstairs. Are you going to come with us, or are you staying with crew? I'm just like, what? How do I make this decision?
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm going with her, because at the time, like my thought is crew's stable. He's fine.
Yeah.
It was a natural process. It wasn't an emergency. And I got to figure out like what sent her into cardiac arrest. Like what happened? Thank God she's okay. But like, how did that happen? And so they go into the elevator, a full team of people, and I run up the stairs to the ICU. And I'm just thinking like, what a crazy, crazy story I'm going to have to tell Hailey of, like, she freaking died after giving birth to crew. Like, what a crazy story. My whole family's at my house. Hailey's family's at my house. And they're all waiting for the call. Like, come on down, come meet crew. And I'm running up the stairs, and I call my brother. And I just remember he answers. He's like, hey, what's up? Like, excited, ready for the news. And And I just tell him like, hey, you need to get to the hospital right now. You got to get over here. Hailey went into cardiac arrest. I don't know what's going on. And that was the only call I made. And I get to the ICU and I open the door and I just think like, okay, where is she? Like, is she in here yet? And the first room was where all the commotion, everything was happening. And I look and that was like the hardest moment probably, because I saw that they were doing CPR again. And that's like where I'm like, wow, this is something real. This wasn't human error that caused her to go to cardiac arrest the first time. Something's happening. Yeah, I think a lot changed right then. Having a medical background, I knew that it's a lot different. If they go into cardiac arrest again, it's a little different. The doctors are trying to fill me in on what's going on, and they were pretty quick to identify that they're suspecting that she had a amniotic fluid embolism, which I've never heard of at the time. Super rare, unpredictable, untreatable. It's just such a crazy phenomenon that happens 1 in 40,000 for no reason, right? Their body just has a anaphylactic reaction to the amniotic fluid.
Wow.
They told me it a couple times. At the time, it just was like in one ear, out the other, because it really didn't mean much to me. I didn't know what that was. I was just figuring out like, what is happening? Like, why can't they fix this? She's in the ICU at a hospital. She's a young, healthy girl. Like, why can't they fix this at the time? Why does she have clots everywhere? Like, they're doing ultrasounds and I'm seeing that she has a clot in her heart. I'm like, that makes no sense. She doesn't have blood clots. Like, why does she have clots in her lungs? Why can't they do this blood transfusion? Why does the blood transfusion keep getting clotted? It doesn't make any sense. And then after learning about AFE and all the symptoms and the cascade effects that happen, it makes sense of what happened, and that this was a pretty tattletale sign of an amniotic fluid embolism. But that day was tough because every 10 minutes, another family member would come in, and that was the first thing that they saw. And I would see their reaction.
Probably made you feel like you needed to take care of them, but you can't take care of them. You're like trying to survive and also take care of Hailey.
Right, exactly. And so I was in the room, which I'm really, really grateful they allowed me to be in the room with Hailey. She had a couple brief periods that she got her pulses back, but this was a span of close to 4 hours, which is crazy because I thought it was like 20 minutes. But 4 hours of me just not losing hope, just not really wanting to accept it, because they kept, I don't know if they're doing it for me or if they were doing everything, they were doing everything they could, but it was 4 hours that I was thinking there's a possibility of her coming back. And then family would come in and you would see them witness what was happening and they would be losing their mind. And then a friend would come in and then a family member would come in, and it was a lot. Even me seeing their reaction was heavy because, like, no one's expecting that. Yeah, no one's expecting that.
You weren't expecting that?
No. Like, I would not be expecting to be here a year later,
yeah,
right, doing this. Yeah, it's really hard. She passes, and 10 minutes later, I'm signing her death certificate, and then having to decide like what mortuary she's going to. Am I cremating her? Like, we didn't have those talks.
No, you don't. Most people don't have those talks till they're old.
Like, you don't want to make the wrong decision. That's not a decision you could change later. That was a really, really hard day. And then to go downstairs and act like I'm happy to see my son.
Oh.
Just imagine being able to just picture my life being able to raise a kid when I don't have my wife. I'm like just crushed into a million pieces. And I feel like there's no hope of putting it back together. And now I have someone else's life to take care of. Not to mention later the things that I come up with, like, well, I just lost half of everything, half of the help, half of the financial help, half of the, daycare. Like, so now I have to think about daycare. I have to think about formula. All these things that you don't have to think about.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot more things.
The mental load grew like times a million for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And
you're dealing with your grief of losing your wife.
Yeah, which is a lot. All those are a lot within themselves. And you just put them all together. Like it's a lot. It's a lot to carry on one person. I don't like being a complainer or being the poor me person.
You're allowed. You're allowed to be a complainer as a widower.
It's a lot. It is a lot to, and I definitely know that it would look so much different if I didn't have so much support, from the close support in my family to the community support of Hailey's business and the firefighter community. It's hard to imagine how I would have got to where I am without all that in place. Because we would have figured it out, but it would not have looked the same.
Yeah.
My healing would not have been the same. And that probably would have been the first thing to give of me taking care of myself. I think Crew would not have the incredible life that he has right now if it weren't for everyone that has done so much.
Yeah, I think it sounds like you've experienced this. I've experienced this as well, is experiencing like the good of the world. I think there's like a country song that talks about, I'm not a country listener, but I like this song because it talks about how I believe most people are good.
Yeah.
And like you really experience that.
Yeah.
You've experienced it. I've experienced it, like the good of just random strangers.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Hailey's story, the news story on like TikTok and stuff. And and I remember like there was a GoFundMe, yes?
Yes.
And people were so generous.
Yeah.
And like it's so beautiful to see strangers just feel compassion and empathy for you.
Yeah.
And then like that's like honestly grateful for like the financial help, but it just more than anything, the help of like the community really close matters more than anything.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of turned into a hobby of mine. Like I would just look on GoFundMe and I would just grab people's names and put them into like Google. And like 99%, probably more than 99% of the people have no connection to me or my family. And it was like man, it was so special. It was so special because, I mean, fire departments, I had fire departments from around the United States that were sending me meals, GoFundMe. And it was, and the fire department is so big, but so small also, where like you really support. And it's, the financial thing is something you don't think about initially.
No.
But it is, it's a heavy burden later when the dust settles a little bit. And to not have to worry about if I can pay my bill next month at the time when I'm really, really in that deep grief, it helps a lot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are a lot of good people in this world. Mm-hmm. You definitely see some good things that come out of these tragedies, and that is one of those. I see that there are some people that get nothing out of it in return and not asking for anything in return. That's really special.
There's a drastic difference from sudden loss versus slow loss, and the trauma is so different because with sudden loss, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Mhm.
I mean, and if this wasn't your experience, but like you're experiencing it all at once. And it's like your like brain chemistry, I don't know, your brain, it's just like what? And for me, like with my slow loss,
Mhm.
it was a very slow process of my brain slowly adjusting to like, okay, Tanner is too sick. We can't do this anymore.
Mhm.
Or like Tanner isn't really himself in this way anymore.
Yeah.
And it's a slow torture. And so that trauma is very different, but sudden loss, you experience it like all at one time. And then your brain has to adjust
Yeah.
after that.
I definitely thought I had the worst scenario in the world that happened to me. And then I went to a retreat called Refuge Widowers.
I love that you went to that.
It was so good. They have such a special retreat that Daniel and their team has set up. It opened my eyes to see a completely different perspective that I can't imagine a slow death, because that would be so hard in different ways of seeing someone go through this pain for months or years sometimes. Like Hailey, I'm going to have this image of her just being a young, beautiful, healthy young girl for the rest of my life. Like that's all crew will ever know and see, the pictures and photos of her. So I appreciate the sudden part, but it also, like, the downside of it is
you never talk about those things.
Right.
Like you had to make all those decisions by yourself.
Right.
Which I think is it's traumatic in itself.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a different hard, like Tanner and I talked about those things because we knew he was going to die.
Right.
So we made those decisions together.
Right.
So it's just like, they're both hard. There's not one that I feel like is harder than the other.
Yeah.
And I've talked to, like, I have a lot of sudden loss widow friends.
Yeah.
And they're like, I wouldn't have wanted a slow, like what you've experienced. And I'm like, I wouldn't have wanted a sudden, because I got to say like goodbye. It was torture. Goodbye for 5 years.
Yeah. Right.
So they're just hard.
There's pros and cons or downsides that come to each. And for me, one of the really, really tough things is when it's sudden and unexpected, you don't have anything lined up in order for when you think like practical things when you come home. Like we did not have we didn't have a trust set up. We put it off because we thought we didn't want to pay the extra money when crew gets born to change it.
Yeah.
It took like 8 months. Constant calling, emails, sending death certificates.
Oh my gosh, it's so much
to close
work.
bank accounts, to close credit cards, to transfer titles on house. It was a nightmare. And like, this is all while I am deep in grief and trying to raise crew, and he's not sleeping at night. And
oh my gosh.
It is a terrible thing to have to do at the same time.
It is.
And yeah, I don't know. I guess my scenario is a little bit different, where I have the sudden death, but I also have the birth of crew, where it's like, that's supposed to be the happiest moment of your life, which I felt really, really like it got stolen, because I had no happiness for months.
There's grief for that too.
Yeah, it's come a long way, where like this guy is my biggest, he's my joy, you know. Which is so funny, because there were times that I just wish maybe he wasn't born. Thought it would have been easier. And then it's gone full circle. Like if he wasn't born, like it would be really, really hard to find purpose through all the sadness. So yeah, I really appreciate, it's come a long way. It's awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad and grateful that you're at this point with him.
Yeah.
And you're such a sweet dad. Like, I just see what you post online.
Yeah.
And he just looks like your little best friend. And
He makes it easy. He's such a cool little happy baby. Not little.
Yeah, not little.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
2 more questions.
Okay.
So, what does it look like to move forward in life with your love of Hailey as you just go through the rest of life?
Moving forward with Hailey.
Mm-hmm.
kind of open-ended question.
It is. And you get to decide what it means.
Yeah. A little over a year out, I've thought like, I know I want Crew to have a mother. And I know I want to have a family. And so that would require me to date again, obviously, which is something that is just on my mind. I haven't really dabbled in it yet, but it's something that I want for me and for Crew.
I know Hailey would want that.
Right. And that's what makes it a little bit easier. It's just, I know that Hailey will always be part of my life, always a part of Crew's life, right? I mean, Crew is always going to be Hailey's son. As much as I hope another woman can come in and fulfill that role, you know, biologically, Hailey will always be Crew's mom, and Crew needs to know who Hailey was. It's tough because I don't know. I haven't dated since I was 20.
Weird to get back in that world again, especially because like in our heads, we're still married.
Yeah.
You know, I still love Tanner.
Yeah.
You still love Hailey.
To love someone else and them to know that you still love this other girl or guy, even though they're dead, feels weird.
Yeah. You have to be able to find someone that can hold space for that.
Right. Yeah. And like, I don't know, probably not right. A 21-year-old girl that I used to date then, like, I don't see how that person could do that.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not looking to date a 21-year-old. I don't know. I guess there is people in this world that can hold space for both. And I've been told that over and over again.
Maturity, confidence.
Yeah.
I think qualities you have to have.
Yeah. It's hard for me to imagine it because I don't know if I personally could hold space for someone that is doing that. I want to say that I can. I think I could only because I've been through this and I understand it. But if I didn't go through this experience, I don't know. I don't know if I could. So I'm asking a lot of a woman to hold space for Hailey because I need that. Like, I need her to be a part of Crew's life, and I want her to be a part of my life. I don't want to forget her. And this woman would be coming in, not only being a wife, but being a mother.
Yeah.
So that's two really big roles. So I don't know if that woman exists. You know, I'm going to give it an effort to try to find her. You know.
Well, releasing this YouTube may have some people sliding
yeah.
into DMs.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Like, oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah. We'll see. We may have to have my sister monitor it or something.
That's funny. But yeah, I think it's a beautiful thing that we love someone this much.
Yeah.
And a beautiful, very hard thing that we hopefully have the opportunity to love again.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing. Last question.
Yeah.
What is your favorite memory of Hailey? And if it's more than one, that is allowed.
Okay. We did it a long time.
Yeah, you guys did date. How long did you date before you got married?
Oh gosh, I told you I just text all my family like, give me these dates. I'm so bad with dates.
It's such a guy thing to
do. So I would say like, and I also forget that she died a year ago because sometimes I forget that my timeline's like way off now. Yeah. So we dated for like 13 years maybe. Wow. Well, we were together. We were together for like 13 years. Yeah. We also met really young. So that makes those timelines kind of seem longer than, you know, when you meet older. Not, you know, we did so much, like all of our traveling, my whole traveling for my adult life was with her. Right. So we loved traveling to different places. So the first one is Bali.
Oh, wow. Yeah. You did travel.
We did. We loved traveling. Our schedules for work were so compatible and flexible that we could stack days and then take days off. So we took full advantage of it. But I went to Bali with my brother and I had a moped accident. Did I tell you this before? Okay, yeah. So I had a moped accident, and I think it's a common thing out there, but mine was pretty bad, where like I almost died. I had a hemopneumothorax,
Oh my
chest
gosh.
tube, skull fracture, a bunch of broken ribs. So the trip wasn't, it was supposed to be a fun surf trip. It happened the second day there. So then me and Hailey went a couple years later to like a redemption trip. So that was really special.
Mm.
And Indonesia is really, really cool and cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one of my favorite trips. And then the more recent one that we did was our honeymoon.
Oh.
Being newly married, obviously we were super excited, on top of the world.
Yeah.
We were going to, at the time our thought was we're going to have our son get born 9 months from that day.
Yeah.
And we went to Bora Bora, which is super, super cool.
Yeah.
Crystal clear water. We did the whole overwater bungalow.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Jealous. That sounds beautiful.
It's definitely something you should put on the bucket list.
Okay.
That was really, really special. And we have so many pictures and videos being our honeymoon, but also Hailey took so many pictures and videos of everything.
Yeah.
So I love looking through those and just reliving those memories.
I love that you have that.
Yeah. Yeah. Same.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, for letting us witness your grief, and for letting us remember Hailey.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be here and share my story.